We're going to go out and play Seattle Miss football. But the only way to do that was with full out heart, passion, love for the girl next to you, and real Seattle Miss football, dog.
The LFL Conference Championships have arrived to Seattle, Washington. Welcome inside the booth of LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza joining you. This is a special Saturday afternoon edition of the Conference Championships. And we have a matchup for you. The Dallas Desire versus the Seattle Mist. Those of you may remember earlier in the regular season, these two teams tangled. Dallas edging out Seattle in Dallas 26-21. Can that happen again this afternoon? To answer that question, I welcome in my broadcast partner, Bobby Huco. Now, Bobby, that's the million-dollar question. Can Dallas repeat and beat Seattle twice in the same season?
Absolutely. This team is gelling more than any team in the LFL. They're playing hot. Their quarterback, Angels, playing great football. June 18th, they beat the champs in Dallas. Here's the problem. Tonight's game is in the ShoWare Center. It's the toughest place for an opposing team to play. And this crowd, they'll be all over Dallas tonight. And number two, the MVP, Danica Brace. She is 100% healthy tonight. I want to see her play big tonight, and she will.
Now, you're talking about a Seattle team that are the Legends Cup champion. Let's not forget about that. But they won a Legends Cup in 2015 behind the arm of young KK Matheny. However, this year in 2016, she's really struggled, completing only 42% of her passes and 5 interceptions. Now, can Seattle repeat back-to-back with a struggling KK Matheny? For a closer look at the 5'2" quarterback, we go down to the field with Desi Mitchison.
Thanks, Mitch. 2015 was a storybook season for Seattle's gunslinger, KK Matheny. She moved her entire life from Tampa, Florida to Seattle for a chance to win a Legends Cup championship. Not only did she win a championship, but she was named the top passer in the league. Fast forward to 2016, and as you mentioned, KK is having a hangover season. She frequently isn't connecting with her receivers, specifically her longtime favorite, Bryn Renda. In speaking to KK Matheny, she feels the postseason is her time. KK may only stand at 5'2", but we've seen her play big in the playoffs. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Desi. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The Western Conference Championship. It's the Cinderella Dallas Desire versus the champion Seattle Mist. Say it with me, America. Kickoff is next. Back to the Western Conference Championship. Before we kick it off, let's go down to the field.
Thanks, guys. We're moments away from a defining moment in both of these ladies' careers. First, Dallas quarterback Michelle Angel. Michelle, how do you keep from feeling overwhelmed in the moment?
You know, ever since that LA game, we've been playing like it's the playoffs. We had to, otherwise we wouldn't have been here. So we're just playing it like every other game.
Best of luck, Michelle. Now, KK Matheny of Seattle. KK, you had a tough regular season. How do you keep that out of your mind for today's game?
Oh, hey, as an athlete, it's every down, every play. You know, we're out here, we have a great game plan today, and I love each and every one of these girls. We're going to come out and ball out tonight.
Back to you guys for kickoff.
It's going to be interesting to see how KK Matheny plays tonight. She's a defending champion at home in the playoffs, but she's playing against Michelle Angel, the story of the year quarterback in the LFL. This should be fun, Mitch.
This place is rocking, the ShoWare Center, and that is Danica Brace getting us underway in the Western Conference Championship. Courtney White, the dangerous returner, will not get a shot. And this is our first look at Michelle Angel and this Dallas offense that is ranked #1 in the regular season. You can see Angel's numbers there, very impressive.
406 yards, 11 touchdown passes in her full first season as a quarterback for Dallas.
And 1 interception, that's the key, only turning it over 1 time. As Dallas gets this underway with Cassandra Ashley on only a 1-yard carry. Let's meet the starters for this offense.
Cassandra Ashley, wide receiver. Courtney White, wide receiver. Jade Randall, tight end.
Danielle Hawkins, tight end.
Nicole Peterson, center.
Victoria Thomas, running back.
Michelle Angel, quarterback.
It's really going to be interesting to see running back Victoria Thomas and how she attacks this defense of Seattle. She needs a big game to open up that passing offense for Angel.
And there's your answer, Bobby. Victoria Thomas ripping off an 11-yard run. She is just a physical specimen. That'll move the sticks for Dallas.
She has great straight line speed. Watch this run. There's no juking. It's straight up the middle, makes one little cut and gets a huge game. That is going to be so huge for Michelle Angel in her passing game.
They have Thomas listed at 175 pounds in the program. With all that equipment on, she's got to be topping the scale about 190.
She looks 195 in that range, but she is a beast.
And here is Thomas again. This time the Seattle defense all over Thomas. And she may have lost the ball here. Again, this Seattle defense not having a great year, coming in ranked number 6 in the league. But it looks like they committed the turnover. That was LaShonda Fowler forcing it.
Watch Fowler come off the edge. That's totally a fumble. Heads-up play by Courtney White jumping on it, keeping the ball in Dallas's possession.
Yeah, I missed that. That looks like White was Johnny on the spot, so Dallas will retain possession. Now a 2nd and 10. Ball at the Seattle 23. This is Michelle Angel back to pass over the middle. And you don't see that often. Courtney White dropping it, setting up a 3rd and 10.
Courtney White has to come down with the ball. This is the playoffs. You have to make that catch.
Now the starters for Seattle.
Stevie Schnorr, middle linebacker.
LaShonda Fowler, cornerback. Shane Norton, defensive end. Miller Rich, cornerback.
Danica Brace, strong safety.
Kim Chase, defensive end. Jessica Hopkins, free safety.
The two safeties, Jessica Hopkins and Danica Brace, they have to shut down that powerful Dallas passing game.
A 3rd and 10 shot down the field. And that looked like LaShonda Fowler, and there is the flag as Fowler got there way too early.
Dallas gets really lucky here. Angel threw the ball late. It should have been a touchdown, but interference.
Voila! Get the back! God, stupid penalties. She got to get back. It's 3rd and 10. They know their play action. Come on. Obvious.
Michelle Angel threw the ball late. It should have been a touchdown for Dallas, but because it was so late, it was underthrown, which caused Fowler to run in the receiver. A big defensive pass interference against Seattle.
Look at that open field tackle by the free agent Kim Chase. That pass interference advanced the ball 10 yards. It was a 1st and 10 run there by Courtney White. White having a rough start to this game, losing 3 yards on that carry.
You can't run outside of Kim Chase. She was an all-fantasy player last year in Los Angeles. I expected her to play big in the playoffs, and so far, a great start for Chase.
After that 3-yard loss by White, setting up now a 2nd and 13. You could see Angel directing traffic from the shotgun. The Seattle crowd coming to life. Stepping up in the pocket, wide open. That is Courtney White, and she may have lost the ball. Danica Brace on the recovery. They're going to call it an incomplete pass.
She didn't bring it in. It looked like she caught the ball first, but it never was brought into her body. Courtney White starting off very slow for Dallas. A great passer, steps up in the pocket. Angel hits her on the run. She has the ball. I'll tell you what, that was close. That was really close if that was a fumble.
We're gonna have a challenge here. I thought I saw head coach Chris Michelson motioning for a challenge.
I'm challenging. It was a catch. Yes.
That is indeed what's happening here. Coach Michelson is saying that Courtney White had possession and indeed made a football move, so this should be considered a reception. I tend to agree with him.
At first look, it looks like she didn't have it, but that angle right there, she brings it in her body and makes one step toward the end zone. That should be a fumble, and that should be Seattle's ball.
Jeff Sidoris with a quick look. We're going to find out here.
The receiver did catch the ball.
What a great challenge by Seattle head coach Chris Michelson. As a result, they rule it a fumble, and Seattle taking over.
KK Matheny, you see her stats right there, not good at all. 28 out of 66, but I look for her to play big. She's a championship quarterback. Let's see what happens.
A first down handoff to the Bulls, Stevie Schnorr. Great tackling by that Dallas defense. Looks like Seattle going in the hurry up here. Matheny will remain in the shotgun. This play is going to be blown dead. That will not count. Great coverage by Jade Randall.
False start number 2, Seattle.
That looked to be Seattle offsides or a false start.
False start. Offense number 2. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That'll back him up 5 yards and set up a 2nd and 13.
Well, she can't float it, though. Damn, I mean, you got to throw that mother 5-6 yards, let her run the rest.
Coach Michelson is 100% correct. KK Matheny floated it out there without that penalty. Jade Randall jumped all over that. That would have been Dallas's ball. They got lucky by having that penalty.
That false start sets them back to their own 5-yard line, so they are deep on their side of the field. Matheny in the end zone from the shotgun, looking down the field. This is a little design dump off. Great setup to Brenton Renda. The lanky wide receiver gaining 15 yards. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Great read by quarterback KK Matheny. They came with a Cobra corner blitz off the edge. There was nobody covering Brenton Renda as she crossed the field. KK Matheny read it, delivered a strike to Renda. Now they're moving.
Look at this up-tempo offense by Seattle. Matheny rolling left, looking down the field. That's just a jump ball. Shantae Cherie in coverage on Brenton Renda, and Renda will win most of those.
Renda will. It looks like a bad pass, but actually when you throw a jump ball to Brenton Renda, number 19, she usually comes down with it.
Renda often talked about as the favorite target for KK Matheny. The two have had a tough time connecting in the regular season. Matheny's just overall had a rough regular season.
She really has it. She got lucky here to start the game. She would have been picked by Randall.
There's the handoff to the bank, or they call her the bull up here, Stevie Schnorr. Every time they hand it to her, it is absolute money for this offense, averaging 6 yards a carry, does Stevie Schnorr.
What a rushing combination. You have the bull who can average 6 yards, and then you have the speedster, Dominique Malloy, right behind her.
Now a dump-off release play to Danica Brace. That'll be good for another Seattle first down. A good-looking opening drive. Now let's meet the starters for Seattle.
Stevie Schnorr, running back.
Danica Brace, tight end. Christine Moore, tight end. Dominique Malloy, wide receiver. Bryn Renda, wide receiver. Jenna Weiss, center. KK Matheny, quarterback.
KK Matheny has to get back to her championship form. She cannot commit any critical turnovers tonight.
A 1st and 10, ball at the 17. That's Malloy in motion. They're going to give it to Malloy. Look at her get into this secondary. That was a gain of 7 yards. The former Arizona State track star making an impact here on the Seattle offense.
Wow, that is incredible speed. That's like an Oregon Duck type speed. She was almost there before Matheny was ready to hand the ball off. What a weapon she is in the backfield. You have that speed to go along with the power of Stevie Schnorr.
That is a true thunder and lightning backfield. And if you're wondering how the two finished the season, Schnorr ranked number 4 amongst all running backs. And right behind her, Dominique Malloy ranked number 5. A 2nd and 3, ball at the Dallas 10-yard line. Matheny, quick screen to Schnorr in the flat. Look at Schnorr just using that weight to burrow through the Dallas defenders. That was a gain of 4 yards. That'll set up a 1st and goal.
I would hate to be a defensive back having to tackle Stevie Schnorr on a swing pattern out of the backfield. If you hit her all night long, you're guaranteed to go home with a limp.
Now, we talked about Victoria Thomas of Dallas being listed at 185, 190 pounds. It's only fair we advise everybody about Stevie Schnorr. She's coming in at 175, so a pair of true power backs.
These backs are the finest in the LFL, maybe in LFL history at the power back position. Stevie Schnorr, we talked about her for years. She averages 5, 6, 7 yards a carry. She can't be stopped.
A 1st and goal now, ball at the Dallas 6-yard line. This is Matheny, a lot of time here. Now throwing into the flat, that intended for Jessica Hopkins. That fell incomplete. Shantae Cherie in coverage. 2 starters missing from the secondary.
No, Jessica coming across. She freed up, wide open. Okay. What down we got? Second. Okay. Hey, let's go naked. Let's go twins left tight, 25 sweep, naked, boot.
Naked boot, that means she has nobody blocking on. They're going to fake a sweep. She has nobody blocking in front of her. They're hoping they're going to go for the fake, then KK Matheny should be able to walk in the end zone. But he also mentioned that previous all-fantasy wide receiver, Jessica Hopkins, was wide open crossing the back of the end zone. KK missed her.
Spoiler alert, Bobby Huco. Thanks for ruining for us. And here's KK Matheny, indeed a naked boot, throws to the end zone. And just a little late in the delivery to Stevie Schnorr. You could see the frustration on Schnorr.
KK Matheny on a naked, you have to get your head around. As soon as you make the fake, turn your head around first and see if you have that quick pass. There, Schnorr was wide open, or she could have ran it. Just a bad play by Matheny.
You could see head coach and offensive coordinator Chris Michelson has been perhaps KK Matheny's worst critic this year.
For good reason. She's not having a great season at all. Her stats are off. Everything's off, except they're winning games, but they're in the playoffs. Again, she needs a big night tonight.
That is a 3rd down dump off again to Danica Brace. And Brace getting into the end zone. That is our first touchdown of this Western Conference Championship.
Just an outstanding athletic play. Not a great pass at all by KK. It's low behind her. She makes a great catch and gets it in the end zone. Just an outstanding all-around football player.
That is something Seattle fans do not want to see. Danica Brace very gingerly walking off the field. That is an injury we'll follow very closely.
Wow, that could be huge if she's out.
This is a 2-point conversion, or at least an attempt by Seattle from the Wildcat. That is Dominique Malloy. Nobody on the right side of that Dallas defense as Malloy walks into the end zone. After 10 minutes of play, Seattle up 8-0. Back to the LFL Conference Championship. Let's go down to the field with Desi.
Thanks, guys. I just checked with the LFL medical staff, and Danica Brace got a knee to the back, and she is expected to return. Back over to you guys.
Great news for the Mist, the MVP of the league. You don't need her out for a game. She's back. You see her right there. She looks like she's moving fine.
And what a drive by Seattle. 10 plays, 42 yards, taking up nearly 6 minutes. Now Dallas taking over on downs, trying to get Victoria Thomas going. Nothing doing, no gain. Tackled by Stevie Schnorr. Schnorr spelling that young lady, Danica Brace, at the middle linebacker position. And I'm not sure what's going on with Brace right now because she's down on the ground. I'm not sure she was ready to return.
What I say is not always necessarily correct. You can see she's in pain. I thought she's 100% back. Her back is what the problem is. You can see she went down on the field without even being touched. This is not good news for Seattle at all.
In case you're wondering, that is our 2015 league MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. So a huge loss potentially for Seattle, and she is just wincing in pain. Danica Brace, number 3 in tackles in the league this season, as well as number 3 in interceptions. She's a big piece of this defense.
This is a bad sign for Seattle. I hope she is okay. That is the number 1 player in the league last year. The MVP is being carried off the field. This is huge for Dallas.
That is absolutely right. I think offensive coordinator Melvin Bullitt of Dallas has now kind of tweaked his game plan in light of what just happened.
You never want to see that because of an injury, but that is huge for this Dallas offense.
Michelle Angel wasting no time going to Jade Randall. Great open field coverage by Jessica Hopkins.
Michelle Angel again late on the pass. 7 route, a corner route. Randall was open. The ball was delivered late, allowing Hopkins to get over there. Michelle Angel not off to a good start either.
Dallas down 8-0 here, facing a 3rd and 10. Without Danica Brace in the lineup, you got to think this offense can have some success.
I guarantee you Melvin Bullitt right now has seen the adjustments that Seattle's going to make, who they're going to put in the secondary, and he's going to go after that spot.
A 3rd and 10 shovel pass to Jade Randall, and Randall loses the ball. That looks like Jessica Hopkins on the recovery. The 2nd fumble for Dallas.
What a play by middle linebacker Stevie Schnorr. She absolutely destroys Nicole Peterson's block. Watch the center. Runs right through her, almost gets the ball before Randall did. And then Randall, for some reason, tried to lateral it instead of just taking the loss. And it's another turnover for Dallas.
Jessica Hopkins, great coverage in the first quarter and coming up with a big turnover here in the second.
Jessica Hopkins, she is one of the all-time great players in the league. 9 tackles this season, just an all-around great player. But what a bad play by Jade Randall trying to lateral that football.
It's a foot race. It's a foot race with Dom. You see it on the outside if you can. Here we go. 22.
KK Matheny setting the scene. This offense could really put this team in command with great field position at the 20-yard line. This is a reverse handoff to Dominique Malloy, and the defense is just not ready for number 3.
Not at all. That was the old crossbuck play. Dominique Malloy with that world-class speed. She was a sprinter at Arizona State University, and it shows every time she touches the football. Her acceleration in space is incredible.
You saw her 2016 numbers, averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. She has been an absolute great signing in the offseason from Las Vegas.
Absolutely. She's one of those players you have to actually put a spy on to control her. Have one player follow her all over the field. If she gets a step on this defense, she's gone.
Malloy now getting a breather. That 13-yard run setting up a 1st and goal. That's Brent Renda in motion. The handoff to Hopkins, trying to sweep left. Great open field tackle by Danielle Hawkins.
Jessica Hopkins, she's a great all-around player. You have her at the tailback position, but she just doesn't have that breakaway speed like Dominique Malloy.
A little baffling as to why they would run a sweep play with one of the slower players on that roster in Jessica Hopkins.
She's a good athlete. She knows how to find holes, but she doesn't have the speed to get around the corner.
A 2nd and goal for this offense. If you're wondering, this offense was number 6. That is very surprising, considering how much success they had in 2015, and mainly because of the play of Matheny. This one, a little shovel pass to LaShonda Fowler. That was a gain of 6 yards, advancing the ball to the 2-yard line.
We haven't seen that play from Seattle all season. I love the call by Chris Michelson, a little shovel pass. Fowler, another good runner. They have so many athletes on the field, and they all are playing tonight. They're playing good football.
A lot of role players on Seattle. You don't see a lot of true superstars outside of a Danica Brace. Everybody plays their role, and that is how they won a championship last year.
And they can wear a lot of hats. They can play dual positions, 3 positions. They are great all-around athletes.
Case in point, Dominique Malloy now lining up at the Wildcat and walking again into the end zone. We saw her do it earlier with the extra point, now scoring a touchdown.
Can you say world-class speed? They know what's going to happen. She's getting the ball in the Wildcat. She's going to run outside, but there's no way Victoria Thomas can catch her. It's just a track meet. Boom, I'll meet you in the end zone, but I'll get there first.
And I don't know how you adjust to that, Bobby. Do you set your corners wider?
You have to. You have to bring somebody from the edge. You have to bring the corners in. You have to keep her inside, because once she gets outside, she's like the road runner. She is gone.
We will see if these Dallas coaches and this defense can adjust to one Dominique Malloy. Now the 2-point conversion, quick strike, finding LaShonda Fowler. Seattle extending its lead to 16-0.
Great read, great throw by KK Matheny. She saw Morgan Calvert, the defensive end, come real quick off the edge. Randall has to get over there to cover the pass. She didn't do it. A quick pass by Matheny. Another touchdown for Seattle.
A lot of early pressure on this young quarterback, Michelle Angel. having her work cut out for her, down 16-0 in the second quarter.
Michelle Angel started off slow. She needs to play football now.
A 1st and 10 play, pressure from Kim Chase. Now Michelle Angel just smartly taking a dive, gaining 4 yards.
No, you don't! You're too sucked up! Jesus! Jessica! Let her know! Drop the back!
Coach Michelson, he knows his secondary's not getting deep enough. In the first quarter, they almost let up a deep touchdown pass. This way, he wants his corners and safeties to go back.
And look at this, Courtney White with yet another open field drop.
Courtney White did not come to play football tonight. She had a great season, but right now she's not in Seattle. That's her 3rd drop, and she fumbled one. What a bad night for White so far.
But how much of that are nerves? This is a very young roster. We lose sight of the fact that this is an expansion team coming into the most hostile territory in the entire league.
100% right. Dallas is not used to a crowd like this.
A 3rd and 6 for Angel. Dropping back to pass. Kim Chase again with pressure. And a very dangerous lob pass to Courtney White. White finally coming up with it.
Courtney White has had a good season. You can see in those stats right there. Tonight starting off slow. Maybe that's going to help her game. I don't know how Michelle Angel, she floated that football. I don't know how it got there.
I think it's a case of nerves across the roster in Dallas. They are not used to this spotlight. A Western Conference Championship on the road in Seattle. You could see nerves from Angel. The center, Nicole Peterson, has whiffed on a couple blocks. And how many drops have we counted already?
A lot of drops and a couple fumbles already. That's why Michelle Angel has to gather herself, get that game manager effect with the whole team, and get everybody together and play that Dallas football.
A 1st and 10 play. Nothing doing that is Stevie Schnorr. Not fooled at all coming up from that middle linebacker position. That'll take us to a media timeout. Seattle in control.
Listen, when we're in cover 2, you see Randall on the tight end. You cannot suck the trip side. She is wide open over here. She didn't see her. You cannot go with Randall on the crossing route. Your girl came wide open back here. You guys need to do it. You're not back in the cover 2. Off. You're going to single-handedly let them get back in the game.
Well, welcome back. It's the Western Conference Championship, and Coach Michelson had his coffee.
Coach Michelson, that's when he's in a good mood. They're up 16-0. Wow.
A 2nd and 16 for this Dallas offense. Angel a lot of time in the pocket, going down the field. Has Randall. A 29-yard connection. We have seen that all year, but missing here in the first half.
That goes right to coaching right there. Offensive coordinator Melvin Bullitt. Who's the weak spot in that secondary? The new one, Ashley Baker, one-on-one. There's no way she's going to cover Jade Randall, who's up for the MVP of the league. A great strike by Michelle Angel. Threw it up there one-on-one. Randall's always going to come down with that ball.
And you got melee. What's the difference? You got to back up.
Come on, Baker. God. 4th and 20.
You got to be kidding me.
Extra point attempt now for Dallas from the Wildcat, Victoria Thomas. And Stevie Schnorr not impressed at all by the rookie.
Hey, we got to get a score back. That's pathetic. Hey, listen, 3 minutes left.
Coach Michelson still hot about his secondary, giving up that big play to Jade Randall.
He should be hot. He told them what, the play before, stay deep, stay deep, stay deep, and they don't do it. Randall's open, they're back in the ball game.
A 1st down play, again a lot of time for Matheny. Complete to Stevie Schnorr, that's good for 11 yards. If you give that kind of time to a decent quarterback, she's gonna pick you apart.
I like what KK Matheny's doing right now in the first half. She's not trying for the quick, long bombs. She's taking what the defense gives her, get it to Schnorr underneath for some solid games. That's going to open up the big play, though.
Right side, 36,
A 1st and 10 ball at the Dallas 24. The numbers on Schnorr in 2016, not as good as 15, but she's left her mark.
averaging over 5 yards per carry again for what, the 5th year in a row?
Dominique Malloy on the end-around reverse in the corner. Finally coming up to tackle Jade Randall and defensive end Danielle Hawkins.
Terrence Bullitt, he told his defense, he watched what happened before on that play. They were ready for Malloy on that reverse.
We are nearing the 2-minute mark. It does not look like this Seattle offense is in any hurry to get a playoff. That's indeed what's going to happen. Officially at the 2-minute warning, Seattle up 16-6, but Jade Randall and Dallas fighting back. Back for the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. The Western Conference Championship, Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco and Desi Mitchison.
This is a key drive for that Dallas defense. The offense had the big play strike, get them back in the game. The defense has to come out with a stop.
Look at KK Matheny, all kinds of time in the pocket. Now taking off with it and rightfully getting down, gaining 2 yards on the carry.
That front wall of Seattle, Fowler, Weiss, and Moore, all kinds of time for KK Matheny. And then after the fact, when she starts scrambling, Fowler comes back and makes a great second block. That is a talented football player and great coaching by Michelson and his staff.
Now the flip side of that coin, the Dallas secondary, who's given up a lot of yardage here in the first half to Matheny, had great coverage on that play, as Matheny had all kinds of time not finding anybody. Now a 3rd and 8 ball at the Dallas 22. Handoff to Malloy. That is the cross-buck handoff. Malloy gaining 7 yards. Danielle Hawkins on the tackle.
We spoke all night about the speed of Malloy, but she is solid as a rock and strong. She should have been brought down, but she easily broke that tackle and made a big rush for 7 yards.
Under a minute remaining. As you can see, Seattle has both of its timeouts, so in no hurry. With the ball at the 15-yard line of Dallas on a key 4th and 1. That is a handoff to the Bull. Look at Stevie Schnorr motor her way down to the 6-yard line. As the clock continues to run, do you call a timeout here?
You should call a timeout right here. I don't know what middle linebacker Danielle Hawkins was thinking. She backed up. As soon as the ball was snapped, she backed up like it was a pass. She should have known that Schnorr was going to get the ball 4th and short. Wow, what a bad play by Hawkins.
A 1st and goal for the offense. A little over 20 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for several shots at the end zone. That's Malloy in motion, faking it to Malloy. Now scrambling left, the pressure coming from Lori Wright and Shantae Cherie.
What the are you waiting for? KK, what are you waiting for? She was wide open. Wait way too long. Jesus. Open it. They're challenging. Let me tell you something. When the ball's loose, they jump on it. You argue with this complete. They jump on the god ball.
Yes, sir.
When you're going, they're just lollygagging. You gotta jump on the ball.
Now Dallas, in the midst of the meltdown by Chris Michelson, Dallas electing to challenge this, saying that this may have been a fumble.
No, this is a forward pass. It's a good challenge. They're trying to stop the momentum, but she tried to get the ball, shoveled it out there, incomplete pass.
You could see this is a better angle from the truck. That was clearly a forward shovel pass. This should be an incomplete. Jeff Sidoris on the call. That is indeed what they're going to call. You could see the Dallas coaches trying to basically grab at any straw at this point.
A good gamble with only 14 seconds on the clock, but Michelson was upset. Matheny had LaShonda Fowler wide open in the end zone. She just didn't deliver a strike, didn't throw the football. 2nd and goal now.
This could be another penalty on Seattle. A false start. So this offense going backwards.
It should have been a touchdown pass. Michelson, and he has a good right to be upset with KK. She's having a strong first half, but it should have been another touchdown for Seattle.
Here we go.
A second and goal play coming up. Ball was down to the 6-yard line after the Stevie Schnorr run. With that penalty, it's backed up to the 11. Still a lot of time remaining. 14 seconds. Seattle does have a timeout.
A lot of time, but somehow this defense has to shut the door on Seattle's offense.
A second and goal play here from the shotgun. Matheny just lobbing it into the end zone. That is Bryn Renda on the touchdown reception over former teammate Katie Finley.
Bryn Renda, she probably has the finest hands in the LFL. A jump ball against Finley. Finley at 5'6". You got Bryn Renda at 5'8". Right there, it's like who wants the ball more in a playoff game? It looks like Bryn Renda. What a catch.
I'm sure Bryn Renda and this team wanted that score, but it makes it that much sweeter that it's over Katie Finley. Finley, just to give you a little backstory, left the Seattle Mist to sign with LA, went down with an injury, and late in the season here signed with Dallas, so Seattle has her earmarked.
Very controversial move by Finley, and somehow she just has to break that pass up. Don't try to intercept it, just break it up.
That is the extra point attempt, could not be handled. Dominique Malloy, and otherwise a very strong first half. Mishandling that snap, our score will remain 22-6.
That is huge in this playoff game. Dallas had made a comeback with the bomb from Angel to Jade Randall, but that defense needed to make a stop, and they did not.
This smart football crowd in Seattle coming to life. On a 1st and 10, Angel back to pass down the field, throwing into coverage. That was deflected by Stevie Schnorr.
Not a bad read by Angel. There's only a few seconds left in the half. Throw a jump ball up. Your star receiver right there, number 15, Jade Randall. Just like Bryn Renda, give her a shot to bring it down. She couldn't do it.
That'll take us into halftime. Seattle up 22-6.
We're not out of this game, okay? We make one quick stop, we score with one possession away. A lot of football left to play.
A frustrated Dallas Desire as they trail this one 22-6 at halftime. The Western Conference Championship. We welcome you back inside the booth. Mitch Mortaza and Bobby Huco. Now, Bobby, these two teams played themselves really close in the regular season. Here at halftime, Seattle's up 22-6.
We did not expect this. We thought a better game would come from Dallas, especially since this team, they won in Dallas. They beat the champs on June 18th. But tonight they're missing 3 key players. Monica Aramillo, she's out. Nikki Pugh's out. Carmen Borceau's out. Not the same Dallas team, but I expected more.
Now, 2 of those names that are very key that you mentioned, Nikki Pugh and Monica Aramillo, a pair of starters in that secondary, a secondary that's been torched tonight in their absence. KK Matheny, we talked about her in the pregame show, has completed 7 of 11 passes in the first half for 60 yards and a pair of scores.
KK Matheny, she's playing like a championship quarterback tonight, but the big story for Seattle, in my opinion, is the running back. Their star running back, Dominique Malloy, is averaging 6 yards a carry against a strong Dallas defense.
Now, your opinion is the only one that matters in this booth, Bobby. Don't worry about it. Dominique Malloy was part of an offense in Seattle that accounted for 22 first-half points. Let's take a look at some of that scoring. Early on, it was KK Matheny finding Danica Brace on a 6-yard touchdown pass. That gave Seattle an early 8-0 lead. The rest of the scoring came in the second quarter. It was Dominique Malloy, the aforementioned speedster, taking it in here on a 2-yard touchdown run. That extended Seattle's lead to 16-0. Dallas finally answered under 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter when Michelle Angel found Jade Randall on this 29-yard touchdown pass. Then right before the half, in fact, 8 seconds before the half, it was KK Matheny finding Bryn Renda. That extended Seattle's halftime lead to 22-6 as we take a look at the first half stats.
In total yardage, you see that Seattle, they nearly doubled the output of Dallas. And not to mention that powerful Dallas run game was held to a mere 13 yards by the strong Seattle defense.
Especially Victoria Thomas, really limited in the first half of this game. That'll officially bring us to the end of halftime festivities here in Seattle, Washington. 20 minutes of football remain to determine who moves on to Arizona for the Legends Cup.
I'm with Seattle head coach Chris Michelson. Coach, this is a similar scenario to earlier this season where you're up at halftime, Danica gets knocked out of the game, and you lose to this Dallas team. How do you prevent that from happening again?
Well, we have the halftime speech that we just did, and then we reminded them all what happened last time. So they're ready, they're prepared, and we're going to come out this half and score right away and put this game away.
Thanks, Coach. Back over to you guys.
Well, that's a very confident Chris Michelson.
Hey, he's at home tonight. He is 100% right, but they're at the ShoWare Center tonight. They're not in Dallas.
Lindsey Gaffney will get us underway here in the second half. A high kick to LaShonda Fowler. Fowler having some problems fielding the ball. And this is going to be poor field position for Seattle as Fowler struggled to field it.
That's exactly what Dallas needed to start this second half. They got to get that defense back in their factory settings, the way it was in Dallas when they upset the champs. We haven't seen it so far, but they have to do something different here in the second half.
KK Matheny having a great first half of football. We talked about it at halftime, completing 7 of 11, no picks, and 2 scores. That is the Matheny we've seen in the postseason.
That is the Matheny that won the LFL title last year.
This is a quick strike in the flat to Dominique Malloy, and that's all you have to do. Get number 3 in open spaces.
Absolutely. With her speed, get her to football. Nobody can outrun her right there. That was actually a good play by the defense. It was a positive game, but they held her not to break a big one.
Lori Wright on the tackle. Dallas just does not have the defenders in the secondary. Again, missing Nikki Pugh and Monica Aramillo. Those are big-time starters for them.
I'm assuming Melvin Bullitt, they changed the defensive schemes at halftime. They had to do something to shut down Schnorr and Dominique Malloy.
2nd and 13 as we approach the 9-minute mark of the third quarter. The Western Conference Championship. That's a little reverse play to LaShonda Fowler. And Fowler showing some athleticism. That is a 15-yard reverse.
Sometimes this season I got on Coach Michelson about his boring play selections because he has so much talent. That looked like the old Seattle explosive offense where you don't know what they're going to do.
Now there's over 160 plays the last time we checked in the Seattle playbook. Very sophisticated. They'll set up plays in the first quarter for the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. They'll bore you to death giving the ball to Stevie Schnorr. Stevie Schnorr, 5 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards. Then they'll come up with a verse like that, then a bomb to Renda. That's the old Seattle offense.
1st and 10, ball at midfield. Matheny under center, dropping back. And just missing her target, LaShonda Fowler. That was a one-hopper. Got to be proud of that if you're a baseball fan, but it doesn't work in football.
Need a shortstop for that one, and that's not LaShonda Fowler, but it was a good pass because it wasn't intercepted. As long as you don't make the big turnovers right now, you have a big lead, just don't do anything stupid.
2nd and 10, ball remains in midfield. Morgan Calvert and this Dallas defense have got to dig in here. Down 22-6.
Morgan Calvert and this defense, they need to make a big play. They need to create a turnover. So far, they haven't done it, but turnovers is what the difference is in this game.
And Dallas has won this year because of a +9 turnover margin. That's the best in the league. Feeney back to pass. That looked to be a slant pass to Bryn Renda. And you could see Matheny upset at Renda saying, look for the football.
Unlike Bryn Renda, she was not looking at the football on a quick slant like that. It's a bang, bang play. You got to turn your head. And the veteran, Bryn Renda, didn't.
Ball remains in midfield. And you can see just some of the hand signals from the Seattle offense.
That looks like they're calling the 15 snake right there. Watch out for a big play.
Left side, 35 jet, 1 pull, on 1, ready.
KK Matheny in the shotgun. We're approaching the 6.5 mark of the third quarter. That's Dominique Malloy on the reverse. They're going to give it to her. Great open field running. Malloy gaining 7 yards, stopped by Lori Wright and Danielle Hawkins.
What a first half for running back Dominique Malloy, almost 6 yards per carry. Just outstanding half, outstanding football by this entire Seattle offense.
Sounding a little like Donald Trump with the outstandings.
Hey, when they play football like that on both sides of the ball, that's how you win championships.
Dominique Malloy proving to be a versatile weapon for this offense. We didn't see a lot of her in the regular season, certainly being highlighted here in the Western Conference Championship. This is a key 4th and 3 here from the shotgun. An awkward-looking shovel pass. That is complete to Christine Moore, the former All-Fantasy center for Seattle, re-signing this year in hopes of a championship.
She signed with the right team. This is the old KK Matheny. She didn't throw it overhand. She went with almost an option pitch, shovel passing it out there. Christine Moore making a comeback just to win a championship. And right now, it looks like Seattle's on their way.
Christine Moore anchored this Seattle offensive line for a number of years. Went into retirement in 2015 and got talked back into playing this year.
Chris Michelson did a great job of recruiting his own players, bringing the key elements you need back to win championships.
A 1st and 10 after that Moore reception. This is a complete in the flat, intended and caught by LaShonda Fowler, tackled by Shantae Cherie.
Not a big game, but I like the reaction by quarterback Matheny. She got rid of the football very quick. Got it as soon as she opened up in the flat. Not a big game, but again, it's the eyes. Get the ball quick as you can, and that's what Michelson was all over about in the first half. Just deliver strikes.
Matheny looking very comfortable in the pocket. That is Lindsey Gaffney, a backup in that secondary, and they're being exposed tonight.
Right now, I see no emotion in that secondary, that entire defense right now. They're on roller skates going backwards.
2nd and 8, Matheny observing that secondary. Again from the shotgun, rolling right, directing traffic into the end zone. Another touchdown by Bryn Renda.
We say it all the time, big players make big plays in big games. Bryn Renda and quarterback KK Matheny, they played together in Tampa. They played out here for a couple years now. That play might have iced it. I hope not, but I'll tell you what, watch this. She rolls out, she moves in the pocket, across the end zone, throw it up again, one-on-one in coverage, and Bryn Renda brings it down.
That was a great adjustment to the ball by Bryn Renda. That was thrown behind her.
Absolutely.
And Renda just went up and got it. Great numbers on the season, 4 scores. Really headed for another all-fantasy bid here.
She has 7 receptions and 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable.
That is Dominique Malloy. We saw it throughout the first half on extra point plays and walking in again. In this game, close to being a blowout now. Seattle up 30-6. That'll take us to a media timeout. Bryn Renda in Seattle cruising. Back to 3rd quarter action of the Western Conference Championship. Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Hugo and Desi Mitchison. Seattle leading at 30-6.
You mentioned it earlier, Mitch, but this is a different offense of Dallas here in Seattle. It's not the same that we've seen all year.
A 1st and 10 play. LaShonda Fowler tracking down Michelle Angel. It does look like we've got a penalty, though.
Hey, can somebody watch the PI?
Well, you didn't throw the ball.
I don't know. She's getting thrown 20 yards down the field.
Angel lobbying for a penalty.
Illegal defense, Seattle, lined up inside the 3-yard penalty.
And now getting it. It appeared Seattle was in the box defensively. You cannot put 4 defenders in the box, and that's what they got Seattle for.
That's the one thing Seattle can't do, make silly mistakes to let Dallas back in the game.
1st and 5 now. Angel dumping it off in the flat to Courtney White. And White loses it again. That looks like Seattle got on the ball, Stevie Schnorr. Indeed, it is Seattle ball. Another big turnover by Dallas, and specifically Courtney White.
Unbelievable. That is her 3rd big mistake of the night, and in championship or playoff games, this is what costs you titles. Again, she gets stripped of the football. I mean, it's to the point right now, if you're Melvin Bullitt, you got to pull her out of the game. She's had a great season, but she's killing you tonight.
You can make the argument one of the reasons that Dallas is in the Western Conference Championship is because of Courtney White, but then you look at the numbers here. 3 drops and 2 fumbles.
She's having an off night, and again, she's a fine football player, but tonight is just not her night.
Let's go.
I think a lot of these Dallas players, again, may be overwhelmed by this spotlight.
Early in the game, they were in it, but the turnovers, that's how you lose, and they're going to get killed again.
1st and 10, Seattle taking over again. And look at Matheny just dissecting this Dallas secondary.
That was string music. That was the old KK Matheny. She threw on timing, watch her step up with confidence, fakes, boom, plant the foot, and throw a strike on the money, on a line.
Ball down all the way to the Dallas 8-yard line. And just like that, it is 1st and goal for Seattle. And here comes Dominique Malloy. Randall with a touchdown-saving tackle. That'll set up Seattle to a 2nd and goal at about the 1-yard line.
This Dallas defense has the look of shock on their face right now. They even have Michelle Angel playing on defense to try to help out. But they've been going backwards this whole second half, and it looks like they're going to do it again. But Michelle Angel, the quarterback, is now playing defensive back.
I-35 lead. You got to block, Lala. It's Jess. Let's go. Get Mike on one.
We're listening in to KK Matheny. I don't think I've ever seen somebody at 5'2" take command of people the way she does.
That's what her forte is. She is a leader on the field. It shows right there. She's going for the jugular.
That is a 2nd and goal handoff. Again, they're stringing it out with potentially the slowest player on the roster, Jessica Hopkins.
I don't know why they're giving Malloy a breather right now when you're going for that jugular. You want your star back in the game.
Hopkins will remain in, but so is Stevie Schnorr. On a 3rd and goal, ball at the Dallas 1-yard line. If Dallas has any hopes of crawling back into this ball game.
2nd down! And we got the 1st down! 2nd down! What's the down? He's saying 2nd or 3rd? Who is he saying 2nd? It's 2nd down!
It was 1st down from the 8, but you can challenge it.
Where was the ball? The original spot was the 10.5.
Yeah, 10.5 is back.
At the 10.
So can I get a 1st down or is it goal?
No, it's goal.
So then how's it 10.5? How's it not a 1st down?
No, it was on the 10.
It was on the 10.5 or the 10. I just need to know, is it goal or
it's 30.
Okay, then I don't want to challenge. I'm not challenging.
Chris Michelson just needed a little clarification.
No, wait, can you pull it back? Can you pull a challenge back?
I don't think so. That should have been a delay of game on Seattle. But getting back to my earlier point, this Dallas defense has got to dig in here.
Michelson not only has his Dallas defense confused, he confused the referees.
There is Schnorr. What a game the British Columbia resident is having tonight in the United States. Stevie Schnorr on the score.
There is just no desire from this Desire defense to make a tackle. It's almost like they gave up. Nobody tried to tackle Schnorr.
This Seattle crowd loving it, knowing that this looks like they are headed to Arizona. In case you're wondering, that is the site of Legends Cup 2016.
Looking forward to that game, but if you're Dallas, there's a whole quarter to go. You can't give up. They have a quick strike offense, so you got to somehow get your head back in the game.
An extra point attempt here. Dominique Malloy not in the backfield. That is good news for this Dallas defense. Matheny from the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. Another quick strike. It looked like her and Christine Moore not on the same page. Our score will remain 36-6.
I should have thrown it. I know you're outside releasing more now. I should have thrown it back shoulder.
She should have thrown back shoulder, but also she should have thrown in a quarterback position. She threw with her feet parallel to each other. You're never going to complete passes like that.
Like you said, a lot of time still remaining in this game. A little under a minute in the 3rd, and we've got 10 minutes of football in the 4th. We've seen a lot of points being scored by this offense. So Dallas still in this game. They're going to go down the field, not shy with it at all. That was intended for Jade Randall and absolutely gift-wrapped for number 15.
What a pass by Michelle Angel. Great play action. You throw it deep one-on-one. You got Jade Randall totally beating Jessica Hopkins, and she hasn't done that all season, and she drops it. Wow.
Get the back! we always leave the one threat that they got wide the open. This is the only threat they got.
You know they talked about Jade Randall all week in film study. She is the deep threat for Dallas, and that was a gift-wrapped touchdown that she just dropped.
I'll tell you what, that shows how good Jade Randall is. She totally beat all fantasy defensive back Jessica Hopkins.
Michelle Angel under heavy duress just chucking it into the crowd.
There's nobody here! That doesn't matter! There's nobody here!
Chris Michelson calling for an intentional grounding. We'll get the call on the other side of this break. Seattle up 36-6. Back for the final 10 minutes of football. The Western Conference Championship here in Seattle, Washington. The home team in firm control, up 36-6.
They are playing like the defending LFL Legends Cup champions.
A 3rd and 13. That looked to be a false start on Seattle. That is a free play and a completion to Courtney White.
Not a bad play selection, getting the ball to White. She had one of the most exciting plays this year in the LFL, going coast to coast. She can do it. She's not having a great night tonight, but I don't mind still throwing her the football.
We're going to get the call here momentarily, but it did look like Seattle may have jumped. This is Jeff Sidoris on the call. That is exactly what we expected, a frustrated Chris Michelson. He does not care about the scoreboard. As you can hear him, he's just upset about the penalties.
Because he's been in crazy games where he's lost in the last play. He can't let Dallas have any shot at getting back in this game.
A 3rd and 8 play for Michelle Angel and company. Angel back to pass, getting some pressure from Shane Norton down the field. That is intercepted. Jessica Hopkins, and I think she may have tried to bring it out of the end zone.
What the are you doing? Go in the goddamn end zone! You're at the half-yard line! That was the dumbest move I've ever seen!
You know what? You got to give Chris Michelson some credit. He's impressed by the interception, but I agree. Why are you bringing this out of the end zone?
Jessica Hopkins, one of the greatest defensive backs ever to play in the LFL. She's a ball hawk. That's just her natural reaction. I'm going to give her some props on that. That's a great play by Hopkins. Everybody else is killing her.
Seattle not set up well here, starting at its own 1-yard line. Dominique Malloy does manage to gain 4 yards. You got to expect Seattle's going to work on the clock now.
I'm going to go back to that play. I have never heard a coach get into a player for making a great interception like that. You got to love Chris Michelson. He is never satisfied.
And talking about never satisfied, look at the look on Michelle Angel. She had one of the best regular seasons you'll ever see from a quarterback. But tonight has got to be devastating, and her teammates have not helped her at all.
Total devastation. Throwing against that Seattle secondary tonight is like hunting with a game warden. There's just nothing there. There's nothing you can do.
A 2nd and 6 for this Seattle offense. Ball at the 5-yard line. An option toss to Malloy. Malloy getting to the outside and gaining 15 yards. Just when the offense needed it, number 3 delivers.
Perfect play call. They came with the corner blitz. Shantae Cherie coming off the corner. Right when she gets to KK Matheny, she pitches the ball to Malloy. Outstanding play by KK.
This Seattle offense was pinned back at the 1-yard line after the Hopkins interception where she brought it out. A few plays later, they're near midfield.
This team is hungry. You can feel it in this arena right now. You can feel it on the sideline. You can see it on Michelson's face. They're going after another championship.
Matheny under center, ball at the 20-yard line. Dropping back to pass, now rolling right. A lot of time, creating time. That is what reminds me a little bit of Russell Wilson. How much time does Russell Wilson with the Seahawks buy just by his feet?
You create time. She's been doing that her whole career. A little bit shaky early this season, but right now she's playing great playoff football. But you're right, she creates time, lets receivers get open. If there's enough time, they're going to get open.
And a very smart quarterback. She understands the timing rules in the LFL. If you get an incomplete pass, the clock is continuing to run. So that does not impact their strategy here.
She is playing like KK Matheny loves to play football. She's been waiting for this moment all year. I think she's almost been playing with it. I've been getting on her about her completions. Right now, she is in championship mode.
If there's a Mr. October in baseball in Reggie Jackson, KK Matheny has got to be Miss August in the LFL.
She is feeling it right now. She plays and looks like Miss August.
Look at the option play to Dominique Malloy. That is a 15-yard gain. Matheny is in firm control of this offense.
I can't stress how well the quarterback position is being played right now by KK Matheny. Another perfect read on the option. She comes down, you attack the defense, make them make a commitment at the last second, pitch it to the back, Jessica Hopkins for another big gain. Matheny is on tonight.
Now, I said Dominique Malloy on the previous play. That was Jessica Hopkins. With the night Malloy's had, I just see visions of number 3, as does this Dallas defense. And you're right, Bobby, on that option play, Matheny totally sucked in Jade Randall.
And that's when you can use Jessica Hopkins at running back on an option, not as a speed back trying to get to the edge.
A 1st and 10 now, a little over 6 minutes remaining. A little dump play. That is Bren Renda in the open field. Great tackle there by Shantae Cherie. That looked like a promising play.
Matheny actually didn't sell it. It was supposed to be a fake quarterback sweep, and then you hit Renda coming the opposite direction. Almost worked, but she didn't sell it enough.
There's Melvin Bullitt, the head coach of Dallas, looking shell-shocked. I'm sure he did not expect this score.
Melvin Bullitt, he is a very confident head coach. He had a great year, but this is the last thing he expected. 36-6 with 5 minutes left in the game.
A 2nd and 3, Seattle now inside the 10-yard line of Dallas. Matheny staying under center. Quick strike to Bren Renda. And Renda looked to be setting up the lateral. And we've got some fisticuffs here. Victoria Thomas ripping at the hair of Bren Renda. And the entire Seattle bench clearing out.
What is Victoria Thomas thinking about? I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. The play was clearly over, and she grabbed Renda's head and started dragging her across the field.
You could see Michelson is upset, and Renda is still down. Let's take another look at this. That is Renda being taken down by the neck. And you could see she took exception to it. And then Victoria Thomas just ripping at the hair of Bren Renda. I have never seen anything like this in football.
That helmet is connected. She's like pulling her entire head. That is insane. She should be thrown out of the game and maybe the league for that. She wasn't the one who was involved in the initial hit.
You can see the benches are still clearing out onto the field. Bren Renda still down. And Victoria Thomas has got to get tossed out of this game.
What got into Victoria Thomas? I've never seen her like that, and she wasn't even involved in the initial hit. She just turned around and grabbed Renda's head and then dragged her across the field. Just insane.
Indeed, you could see LFL officials guiding Victoria Thomas out. And I'd be a little worried with this crowd in Seattle. Thomas making that long walk to the sideline. You could see, this is a young lady that's an attorney. This is a responsible young lady. That was the most wildest moment I've ever seen on a football field.
I have never seen anything like it at any level of football. That was, like you said, there's no better word, insane.
Shades of Albert Hainsworth go through my mind when I watch that. That is Stevie Schnorr. And that is pure commitment. You got to think this team is off right now.
They were off anyway, but after that play with Bren Renda, thank God she's not seriously hurt. I mean, she could have been seriously have a neck injury with that. It's like she couldn't even defend herself.
And you cannot give a team like Seattle, you could see Stevie Schnorr finding the gaps. You can't give them life with an unsportsmanlike call and also lose the services of Victoria Thomas.
Stevie Schnorr, the bull, right now looks like there's a no matador in there on that defense. She just walked into the end zone.
Look at Dominique Malloy. They expected her to go to the outside on the extra point attempt. She just darted her way through traffic.
That first juke, I mean, she broke ankles on that. But again, like you said, Victoria Thomas, the worst thing she could possibly do is keep Seattle fired up. And she did that by pulling the neck of Bryn Renda. Incredible.
Lost in the moment was the incredible open field running on Dominique Malloy for the extra point. She's 3 of 4 tonight. The only one she didn't convert was when she couldn't handle the snap.
Defensive coordinator Terrence Bolt, he's left scratching his head right there. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't changed schemes this whole second half. I mean, you can't be like a dog and always think things are always okay. You have to change things up on defense once in a while.
1st and 10 for Dallas. Ball at the 15-yard line. This crowd's still here despite the 44-6 score. Shane Norton putting some pressure on Angel. That would have been a great catch by Jade Randall, but that's her 4th drop of the night. Just not number 15's night.
This whole Dallas team, they're just in awe of this crowd or something. This is a completely different team and players. Jade Randall didn't drop a pass all season. Tonight she's had how many drops? A great throw by Angel, a strike, and she simply dropped it.
Give credit to this defense, especially Stevie Schnorr. She's done a lot of damage on the offensive side of the ball, but she's been in a lot of plays defensively.
With Danica Brace out, the MVP, you're right. Schnorr really has stepped up here in the second half.
A 2nd and 10 play. Seattle bringing 3 rushers over the middle, caught. Courtney White finally having some success in this game. That was a 10-yard completion.
Even though they're getting smoked 44-6, you gotta love the heart of Michelle Angel. She's not giving up. There's no way they're coming back, but she's staying in the pocket and delivering strikes.
Yeah, I don't think under any circumstance you take away from this Dallas season. This is an expansion team with relatively unknown rookies and a handful of free agents, and they're in the Western Conference Championship against Seattle.
The way Seattle's playing tonight, you gotta wonder, if they would beat Dallas back in June in Dallas, you know, it's almost like when Dallas beat them, you poked the bear. You woke up the bear. Because this is a totally different Seattle team tonight.
We've got a pass interference. Looked like Cassandra Ashley was tripped up in coverage. That'll give Dallas another 1st down. And if nothing else, even if you're out of this game, put some more points on the board, walk out of here feeling good about yourself.
Absolutely. They had, like you said, an outstanding year. I mean, this team can play ball as well as anyone in the NFL. So you don't want their confidence being like done after this game.
This one intended for Randall. We got another penalty here. This may be on Stevie Schnorr. It looked like Schnorr got there a little early.
I think she did. She thought she timed it perfectly, but I think they're going to get her here on this one.
Jeff Sador's earning his paycheck. Another pass interference, setting up now a 1st and goal.
Again, Angel staying in the pocket, throwing a strike on the money, but clearly Schnorr got there early.
Michelle Angel not only impressing with her composure, the way she's handled this season, but she's also one of the more accurate passers in the game.
Absolutely. We talked about it all year long. Her mechanics are simply pure this year. Her feet are always set. They're pointing in the right direction. And again, on the other side of the ball, when I get on Matheny, it's because her legs are parallel, not throwing right. But Michelle Angel has been probably the most accurate passer in the LFL this year.
That pass intended for Danielle Hawkins. This Dallas team not giving up, going to take a few shots at the end zone. And let's talk about the potential matchup now for Seattle. Do they match up better against Atlanta or Chicago?
You know what? I would not put anything by Keith Hack. He was on a mission with a chip on his shoulder all year long. He has a great quarterback that replaced Heather Furr. I would not be shocked to see him back in a championship game.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. We'll pick up the Legends Cup discussion on the other side of this break. And this is one of the ugliest things you'll see in the LFL. Back to LFL football night, and next week, it's the Eastern Conference Championship, the Atlanta Steam versus the Chicago Bliss. And look at Stevie Schnorr, awarded game MVP honors, sharing a cold one with her teammates.
Look at those numbers for Schnorr tonight. Incredible. She knows her numbers. She knows there's 24 hours in a day and 24 beers in a case.
I'm not following that logic, Bobby, but I haven't drank as much beer as you.
I know how many beers, and so does Stevie Schnorr. What a game by Schnorr.
How about Schnorr and Malloy as your backfield in the Legends Cup?
There is not a better 1-2 punch in the backfield in the LFL. You have the thunder of Schnorr. You have the lightning of Malloy. It's a quarterback's dream.
Let's talk about that matchup that we were talking about before the break. Who does Seattle match up better against, Atlanta or Chicago in the Legends Cup?
I think they'll match up better against Atlanta, but I think the better game would be Chicago against the champs because, like I mentioned, Coach Hack has got that chip on his shoulder.
Chicago and Atlanta do the dance next week in the Eastern Conference Championship. Seattle will get some rest, some game film, and head to Arizona.
As you know, offense gets the TV ratings, but defense wins championships. The way the Seattle defense stepped up in the second half without their MVP, Danica Brace, was just incredible. And going into the title game, I mean, this is going to be a tough team to beat.
Now, we are getting word from LFL Medical that Danica Brace has been sent to the hospital, which is going to be alarming here, obviously. What happens if this Seattle team does not have number 8 in the lineup in Arizona?
Well, it shows right here. They stepped up. You know, next man up. They're playing great defense. It would shock me, though, knowing Danica Brace, although she was in an incredible amount of pain, but she's done that her whole career.
They're saying it's precautionary. They want to take some x-rays, but you could see number 8 could not even put any weight on her legs.
She tried to come right back in the game immediately, and she looked okay. And then either a spasm came in or something. She went face down without even being hit. They had to carry her off the field.
A 4th and goal for Dallas as you see the championship gear on the sideline of Seattle. The excitement and the party is starting, and that is an interception. The rookie, Ashley Baker, who came off the bench because of Danica Brace's injury, gets a key interception here in the 4th.
Michelle Angel, she bird dogs who she's throwing to in the corner. And Ashley Baker read the quarterback's eyes. She was in the corner position, not even covering Jade Randall. She fell off coverage.
That would be one of my concerns if I was a Seattle Mist fan. This defense has committed a lot of penalties tonight, and that offside just wiped out Ashley Baker's interception.
You're right. There's 2 concerns. Number 1, if Danica Brace is going to return. And number 2, they got to cut these penalties out. They're going to lose if they have this many penalties in the Legends Cup.
A 4th and goal, the final shot for Dallas. They're going to go to the end zone, overshooting Katie Finling. The last 2 passes, the worst I've seen from Michelle Angel.
You're right. At the end of the game, you're right. She's not as sharp. Her feet weren't set on that one. She had Finley wide open and flat for a touchdown and just threw it over her head.
How about the game Brent Renda had? Good to see her up after that incident with Victoria Thomas. You could see she seems okay on the sideline.
Brent Renda really stepped her game up. On defense, Kim Chase. And we didn't mention her name much all year. She was all fantasy last year in LA. She had a great game tonight.
And Chris Michelson returning to his 2nd Legends Cup, an opportunity to go back-to-back in Arizona.
Absolutely. Well, that whole staff, David Price with Michelson, what an outstanding season.
And it's not just the coaching staff, it's the support staff, the medical team. This is the #1 franchise in the league.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Here we go. Victory
formation. Victory formation. Victory formation. On one. Ready.
KK Matheny having fun now, knowing that she's 55 seconds away from Arizona. They're going to just take a knee now and run this clock.
Back up.
You gotta love the Tom Brady-like headbutts while she's calling the play in the huddle.
Give me my shirt! Give me my shirt! Give me my shirt!
I'm assuming KK Matheny and company are talking about the championship shirts and hats
Victory formation
that are waiting on the sideline.
You have now breached Delta Airlines. On one. Ready.
They're having fun there in the huddle. What's the best formation in football?
Victory formation, because the game is over.
And in this case, not just over, you are officially going to win the Western Conference. That will do it in Seattle. You are looking at your 2016 Western Conference champion, Seattle Mist.
There was a lot of doubt around the league, especially the way Dallas played this year, if Seattle could come back and repeat and even beat Dallas, but they showed everybody tonight they are ready.
They have amassed a team that can easily reel off 3 or 4 championships and have an opportunity to become the next dynasty in the LFL.
With this lineup, they absolutely can. With KK Matheny getting back into form, they can be one of the greatest teams ever if they stay focused.
Kim Chase, Dominique Malloy factored big in this Western Conference championship. And now they simply await the winner of the Eastern Conference for a battle in the desert.
Anybody who wins that game, either way you go, it's going to be a great matchup. If it's Chicago or Atlanta, they're both two great teams to play Seattle.
And what a great season for Dallas. Again, keeping in mind this was an expansion team and came in as the #1 seed in the Western Conference Championship. You just don't see that.
There'll be a lot of lessons learned tonight. Coach Melvin Bullitt, Terrence Bullitt, and Jacob Lacey, they put together one heck of a team, but they saw how playoff football is in the LFL tonight.
Dallas did get a lesson here from the Seattle Mist, one of the premier franchises in the game, and now headed back to the Legends Cup. That will do it for us here in Seattle. The Western Conference Championship. It's the Seattle Mist winning it 44-6 for Bobby Huco, Desi Mitchison, our producer Jonas Nordman. This is Mitch Mortaza. We will see you next week for the Eastern Conference Championship.